Get on down with your bass up. Get on down. Listen to the sound. Come on.
Ghost Riot
Radio.
Nick
The ghost. The ghost himself.
I'm the ghost with the most, babe.
Nicky.
Bring the ghost. This one seems to have ghostliness all its own.
Are you a ghost too?
Nick.
It's not stupid, Barbara. We're ghosts.
The only spirits left will be in bottles.
If you can produce ghosts,
Nobody is Scots a ghost anymore. Apparently, the average ghost is quite reasonable.
They could be exposing themselves, and you don't want us exposing ourselves.
Not the worst idea. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Ghost Riot Radio. My name's Nick Noble, and I'll be your host for this special edition of Ghost Riot Radio, the 18 and over podcast designed for free-thinking adults just like yourself, coming to you live from sunny Sarasota, Florida. Folks, if this is your first time tuning into Ghost Riot Radio, each week I invite a few interesting people to join me here at the Riot Bench to discuss a different topic of the week. If you or someone you know would like to be on an upcoming episode, email me at ghostriotradio@gmail.com. For those of you who have listened to this show as a podcast or watch it as a video on YouTube, you know that I usually have a new musical guest and discuss adult topics. It's not every day, though, that I have the opportunity to meet and work with people whose mission is so powerful that I feel the need to assist in any way possible. Last week, I was presented with an opportunity to join the three gentlemen who are here with me today to be a part of an event that they have set up that is so selfless and charitable that I had to bring them on the show to share their story. Today, I am joined by Shahid, Rivers, and Ed James III. These gentlemen have come here today to talk about their event, which is coming up Wednesday, December 21st. That's next Wednesday here in Sarasota. Before we get into what the event's about, I'd like for each of you guys to take a moment, just introduce yourselves to the listeners and the people joining us right now on Facebook. Shahid, can we start with you?
How you doing, everybody? My name is Shahid, Sarasota native, I would say at this point, but I'm blessed to be here. I don't want to put too much on myself tonight. I am the founder of the Evolve Agency, which is a marketing and consulting agency out of Sarasota. We represent businesses, brands, and talent. I am an artist. That is my passion. And I'm sitting here with two phenomenal young brothers. So like I said, I'm not going to put too much attention on myself because the mission that we're on right now is way more important than all of that. But I'm honored to be here, and I'm grateful. So thank you, man.
Bro, my pleasure. My pleasure. We're glad to have you. Mr. Rivers, how are you, sir?
I'm all right. I'm doing good, man. I'm Antonio Rivers. I'm over 24th to Broadway. It's a big umbrella. I do taxes, cars, you know. I'm just keeping it going. Soon I'm trying to open a daycare. But other than that, I'm blessed to be here with the team, man. We put something together for the community. And I'm proud of everybody in here, man.
Fantastic. We're glad to have you, too. Ed James III, how are you today, sir?
Feeling great.
Awesome. Tell everybody about yourself.
Ed James III, proud product of Sarasota, Florida, fourth generation Sarasota, and product of the local public schools here. Just feeling incredibly blessed to be amongst these incredible gentlemen that we're embarking on this great journey. I'm the leader of the New Direction movement. I'm a social curator, hip-hop enthusiast, community activist, and serial entrepreneur. But most importantly, I'm all about community, which is why we're here today.
Fantastic.
Exactly.
We're glad to have you. This dude's got a very big business card. He's got to write all that stuff out there for you. Gentlemen, we're glad to have you today on Ghost Riot Radio. Normally, what I do is try to make things heavy entertainment-based. We play a lot of music, hip-hop, punk stuff, all kinds of crazy stuff. But this is a special episode because we're trying to put something, I say we because now they've involved me, but these gentlemen are starting to put something together here that I think is just so important that I was like, guys, let's get you on. Let's do a special episode. Let's talk about this event that you've got coming up. Shahid, do me a favor and tell me the name of this event and really how it came about.
Yes, sir. So the name of the event is the Holiday Ham and Turkey Giveaway. And that is exactly what the purpose of us being here is tonight, because we're trying to give away of ourselves and of some hams and turkeys, some food for maybe some less fortunate or maybe those who just, you know what, can't make it to the store. But guess what? We want to give back in some sort of way. There's also going to be incorporated with the event some sort of concert portion where we're going to have some community artists to come out and share themselves with our platform. And Ed James here also has another major portion that he's adding to this spectacle. But, you know, the bottom line is this is how the event came about. My brother Rivers reached out to me and said, brother, I feel like giving back. I want to give I gave away some things last year. I gave away some things for Easter, but I want to give away something special this Christmas. He said, I want to maybe feed at least 50 families. And I'm looking at this man in the eye like, he has no reason to do this. He has no agenda. He's not like, you know what I mean? I'm just like, and you know, you can't battle that if you're at least a conscious person, you know. I'm feeling all good inside while he's talking to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm starting to get the goosebumps because that's something special, you know? All in all, I just, my mind started, you know, racing.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to be a part of it.
Absolutely.
You know, he said, you know, add whatever you feel as though you can add to it, sprinkle something on there, you know, and I did what I can. But all in all, I just want to make sure that it does not go away from the light being shined on Rivers because he sparked this.
Right.
He made this come into the universe, and now we are supporting the vision that he put together. Very bright, very smart. You're not always going to speak so much, but man, let me tell you, when you get the opportunity to sit down with him and he shares and he pours out of here, gems. So I'm just grateful to be here and to be able to give back to our community with these brothers.
Love it. I love it. All right, so Rivers, tell us a little bit, since this seems to be your egg here that we're slowly incubating at this point. I think you know, I totally agree with you. Like I said before, as soon as I latched on to this concept, I was like, can I be a part of it? Like, I damn near invited myself. And so they're gonna let me come hang out. We're gonna shoot some video stuff for these guys. We're gonna try to put them on blast as big as possible. We're just gonna try to make this a big thing. But again, I got to sit down with you guys and hear a little bit about this story. But tell everybody else where this comes from in you and what makes you have this drive to want to give back so much.
I just feel like God put us all here to network with each other and help one another.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of kicking somebody when they down or something, you know what I'm saying, help them out. And I feel like he done blessed me so much.
Yeah.
And I'm in a position now to be able to bless other people. So why not? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It comes straight from the heart. It's just, you know what I'm saying? It's just in me, man. I'm
Right.
born with it in me to give back once I got in the situation.
Amazing. And do you come from a wealthy background? That's kind of a weird question, but like, is money something that you had?
Not wealthy.
So that's something that you've just created out of yourself. That's something that
made a decent living. You know, my grandfather John Henry Rivers. You know what I'm saying? Very powerful man.
Legend.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, like I said, I come from that family of love, man.
Right.
Giving back. So.
Right. And that's, again, part of that story is this gentleman decided to bring himself up, put himself together, and then decided, now that I've gotten to where I feel comfortable, it's time to really start to give back. He could just be doing what everybody else is doing and trying to make that stripper money and, you know, being ridiculous. But that's not the case, right? Like, the rest of us are out acting fools and drinking and doing silly stuff. He's decided it's time to give back, and everybody else is grabbing hold.
Big boy moves.
Big boy moves. It's really, it's infectious. It's absolutely infectious. To sit in a room with these three guys, even now, you just, it's a very hippie thing for me to say, but I tell them, like, the energy that they give off is crazy. It really is. The room is hot. It's just electric with stuff going on with these guys, and it's just ideas flying everywhere. Nobody can shut up. We're all just shooting stuff around. It's a really great room. Ed James III, tell us a little bit about your involvement with this project. How did you get into these guys, and what's your feelings? What are you loving about this right now?
Shahid just gave me a call. He said, Ed, I need you. We're going to make this happen, so let's do it. And anytime you get a call from Shahid, number one, you have to pick up the phone. We always make the joke, like, pick up the phone, baby. I know you're home. But no, this is, as I said before, you know, I grew up in this community. I just recently ran for the State House of Representatives and unfortunately didn't come out victorious, but at the same time, I feel like we were victorious in spreading our message of bringing a new direction of positive energy, of community, of, you know, really sort of practicing what you preach. And when he told me that we're going to reach out to 50 families or more and give back, I was like, this is a no-brainer.
Absolutely.
This is absolutely a no-brainer. So that's why I'm a part of this.
Amazing. How old are you again, by the way?
Just turned 27.
Already running for office, folks. What'd you do today? These guys blow my mind, man. I'm telling you, this room is hot right now. It's really great stuff. All right, so all three of you are definitely feeling Sarasota right now. You're born and raised.
Born and raised.
Left for a little while, came back, right?
Yeah, I lived in, got my undergraduate degree in Chicago. Lived on the south side, and then lived on the West Coast. Lived in San Francisco and Oakland, but there's, you know, no place like home.
No place like home. Back here in sunny Sarasota.
Yes, sir.
But you gentlemen not necessarily born here, but now definitely calling this home.
I'm born
You were
here.
born and then
Yeah.
left and came back
Born and
also.
raised, yeah, I left at 17.
17, that's what it was. All right, good. But see, again, these cats are all coming back. I've lived here twice, so I'm doing it too. What about you, Shahid?
I'm a little bit the opposite. I moved here when I was 15, and to play basketball at IMG, and I stayed in paradise, and I'm not leaving. Sarasota. I'm just a huge advocate for this city because I know where it's headed.
Absolutely.
And I want more people to understand this is a beautiful, beautiful place.
Yeah, I agree. Let's talk about where this city is headed for just a second. It seems that everywhere we turn, we're running into some difficulties trying to get new restaurants, new things happening here. There's a noise ordinance we're still trying to work out. What stuff are you all running into that you find that we need to start to focus on as a community?
Unity.
There's so
yeah, absolutely.
Unity. You got to start with unity.
I agree.
If people don't have unity, they gonna be divided. You would never get nowhere like that.
That's right. Where do you see that divide right now? What do you see as the biggest hurdle?
The biggest hurdle. I don't know. Like I just feel like, man, it's people need to love one each other.
Yeah.
Love one another. You know what I'm saying? More.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because they easily get upset with each other.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's like they're enslaved in their minds instead of just being free and happy.
Yep.
You know, so that's the problem right there.
That's the root of it.
Agreed.
Try to outdo each other.
Yeah.
You know, somebody got a new car. This person trying to get a new car, then put rims on it.
Right.
You know, it's like if they start competing with each other, we can unite.
Right. Agreed.
Bigger things can happen.
Totally agree. You gentlemen have anything to contribute?
Yeah, I saw it definitely on the campaign trail that, Sarasota, although it is a great city, is definitely a divided city. And a lot of people who would consider themselves to be millennials, young people, don't necessarily feel like this city has much to offer to them, right? But Shahid and I have always talked about it in Rivers. You're doing this too. We create the space and what we want and how we would like to live, right? And so we are creating a more diverse space. And when I talk about diversity, I'm not just talking about racial diversity. I think what makes Sarasota great is that you have, institutions of higher learning. You have Ringling, you have New College, you have people of all backgrounds. You have people of low socioeconomic status. Obviously, we know Sarasota has the wealthy and elite class, but I think if we could all come together, as River said, unite, love one another, and unite around the things in this world that are free, right? Why do most people come to Sarasota? The beaches, right? That's free. That's free.
True.
That's free. So, but I think that sort of this divide between the millennials and everyone else is kind of the root of the issue that a lot of us are really trying to solve.
Yeah. Agreed.
To add to that, it's funny. Not a lot of people are having the conversations, right? Everybody thinks what they think. Everybody thinks they know it all. Everybody thinks they have Sarasota figured out. And then everybody just keeps to themselves. Nobody talks.
Yeah.
You got restaurants on Main Street, right? And I'm not going to mention any names, but you got restaurants right next to each other.
Yep.
And they won't even talk to one another. They won't even speak.
Right.
How does this make any sense? You should be talking. You should be talking about when this person is doing something, when you're doing something, so at least you won't bump chairs while you're moving. But at most, maybe you guys can send people over here to go eat, come to your after party.
Yeah.
Maybe you can send people to your bar and then send them over here for some hors d'oeuvres. It's just communication. Really, the conversation needs to be had. Like what we're doing right now is that important. Just even talking about what does Sarasota need to be better so people can spark in their minds so they can understand together. Strength in numbers, man. Strength in numbers from politics to entertainment to building a scene.
Yep.
Strength is in numbers, and if the right people work together and continue to have the conversation, we can do a lot more in Sarasota.
Agreed. There seems to be there's a lot of it's Florida still, and especially South Florida. A lot of people retire in this area, and so there's a lot of older people in older mindsets in this area, and I think that's part of what we bump into is that it's just there's just an old way of thinking that's down here still that is it can be troublesome, and they also go to bed at 6. So
They're
that's
so out of touch.
That 10 o'clock noise ordinance is not something. They love that because they don't want to have anybody wake them up till 4 o'clock when they get up and start walking around again.
Well, we don't complain when they're up at like 4 or 5 in the morning making all that noise though.
No.
We should have a noise ordinance for that time of the morning because some people have to sleep. You see, it's all ridiculous.
Right, and it if you want to live in downtown Sarasota, which is not a huge area, but it's pretty cool. But if you want to live in downtown, you should accept that it's not going to fall asleep early, right? That's where people are going to want to go because there isn't another place really for us to go. Well, not yet, right? We're working on that, right?
Yeah,
right.
definitely.
So that just becomes an issue, right? You can't complain if you live in a downtown area that there's noise going on. What other downtown area in any place in the country can you go that goes to sleep, right? That's where things happen. You want to be quiet, just move outside the city a little bit. So we're running into those situations, but I think that it's ideas like this. It's when people who think come together and decide it's time to give back, and they do it selflessly with there's no return on this idea. This is just it's time. It's a good season to do it. Let's do it. That concept for me is just so I'm going to get cheesy for a second, heartwarming that I just can't turn away from it, and that's why we're all here today. So let's talk a little bit about. We already feel. I was going to ask something silly like, why do you feel it's important to give back to the community? But I think that's such a generic conversation, and I think we already know. Like, if you don't think it's important to give back to your community, you might be part of the problem. Right.
Right.
All right. So let's talk a little bit more about this event. First of all, where is this event happening?
This event is at our new facility that Rivers, myself, and a partner, Gino Mays, have acquired here in Sarasota. And we are building it up right now. It is multifunctional, hosting events to live concerts, accounting, tax offices, recording studio, and much more to come. We want to provide opportunity and create, jobs for people who otherwise wouldn't be able to create these opportunities for themselves and in these ways because they don't currently really exist in Sarasota. So we're trying to be what's not here. We're trying to fill a void. However, the event is there. It's at 1945 17th Street in Sarasota. That's off of 301 and 17th Street, and it's directly behind Hobnob. And we're going to start the event at 6 p.m. So that's where it's at.
Perfect. We talked a little bit before, and I don't know if I'm putting you on blast right now or not, but not only are you trying to provide jobs, but you're also looking at like improving possibilities for people by improving them personally.
Right.
Is that something that you're willing to touch on a little bit? Because I think that's such a powerful idea for you to basically be like helping mentor people is such an awesome idea. So explain that whole concept if you're willing to.
Well, for one, it's definitely not a like really grandeur process. We are being really organic about it.
Right.
We're talking with people in real life, identifying what they like to do, their strengths, how maybe that can correlate with what we do, and putting them in positions to be successful. And through our experience, the little bit that we have, guiding them, mentoring them, and you know what? All of us have mentors too. Yeah. So we're just encouraging them to do the same thing we're doing because we will find ourselves to be successful at this point.
Absolutely.
And we want to spread the wealth of knowledge that we've gained and help those. It's just like no crazy process. It's just we are really passionate about improving our community and those in it. And that's what we're doing. I mean, that's my way of putting it in the simplest form.
Yeah.
And I think what's one of the most important things about that space is that it is a safe space, right? And so one of the things that you'll notice is that it's located in North Sarasota. And North Sarasota is a part of town, unfortunately, that's often overlooked, because of blight, because of economic distress. But here we are, 3 young guys, products of the community, who want to say, look, we've been blessed. We've had mentors who've shown us the way, and we think that it's important, not just important, but it's actually necessary that we impart some of those gems that Shahid was talking about, that Rivers is imparting, in people in our community and make it better. We can be armchair coaches all we want to. We can sit on the couch and complain, or we can be a part of the solution. And a lot of the times people think being a part of the solution is just kind of talking and telling people what the issues are, but we open up our ears and we listen. Listening is revolutionary.
Huge. So since both of you born and raised Sarasota, did you have, obviously I know for sure that you're both strong family backgrounds, so you both had family mentors, but were there programs or people like yourselves when you were younger that were doing stuff like this, or do you find that it's just sort of a new concept?
So it's actually kind of interesting because Rivers and I just kind of recently became acquainted, but we have this kind of crazy family connection.
Right.
His grandfather, John Henry Rivers, great man, R.I.P., and my father actually filed a lawsuit late 70s, early 80s that actually led to the first election of the first African-American mayor, Fred Atkins.
Wow.
It's James versus the city of Sarasota. And that was his late grandfather and my father. And little did we know when I met him, I'm like, your last name is Rivers. You know, everybody with the last name Rivers in Sarasota is related to John Henry Rivers. But I'll let him speak for himself. But I know with me, that's kind of the background that I come from. You know, my grandmother great grandmother integrated the beaches here in Sarasota. My grandmother has a library named after her at Booker High School. My father and his grandfather were kind of change agents here in town. So that's the legacy that kind of paved the way.
Yeah, that's a legacy, man. And then, like I said, just meeting him, and then we had our conversations. I'm like, wow. But because I heard of his father,
right?
You know, but I just ain't never met him.
Right.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And what about when you were a youngster growing up here? Obviously, the family was there, but again, were there organizations of people trying to get together and really build up the community, or did you
they
find
had Boys and Girls Club and stuff like that?
Yeah.
You know, but other than that, I never. It's like I had to go through experiences in life.
Yeah, sure.
To learn myself.
Right.
You know, because people could tell you this and that, but if you don't experience certain things, you would never get it.
Right. And what would you say growing up in Sarasota was like in those days? Was it
back in the days? Definitely was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Have all this technology. We was out playing with you. It was more unity back then, to be honest with you.
Because you had to interact with people.
We had the Easter parade.
Yeah. you know what I'm saying? You're not calling to see if somebody home. You're going over there to knock on the door.
Right.
To see if they home.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, I remember those days.
Playing video games, you know what I'm saying?
Everywhere on your bicycle.
Yeah, you know? So it's definitely different times, you know. It's like people don't even see each other face to face to have a conversation. They texting or just writing on the internet or something. It's kind of like, it's nothing like back in the days, man.
No. And again, part of the reason I got involved with these gentlemen is that Shahid and I were going to talk because Shahid's an artist and makes music, and so I was trying to pin him down because we've heard his name here on the show before prior to me bringing him here today. And he said, I tell you what, let's meet, but I want you to come meet at my office, is what he said. I said, he's got an office. All right, cool. Let's go check out his office. And I didn't know what to expect, so I was expecting to go sit like in an office with a desk or like sit across from him. And instead, we sat in a conference room in part of a building, and I didn't ask any questions. We sat down and talked. He said, you got a second? I said, sure. He said, I just want to show you something. And we walk through a door that opens into another door that's into another door. And there's people everywhere in this place. And I'm looking around, and it was a quiet day. But what I'm realizing is that these guys have a plan. And they're trying to create space to bring people back together. And I immediately was just like all you see is potential everywhere you turn. Every door that opened was another opportunity. And they're already doing stuff in these spaces. What kind of stuff is going on in that space right now? You said we know there's some music going on. Yeah. What else? What other kind of stuff?
Taxes.
Yeah, which is
cars.
Awesome.
You want a car? We go to the auction. You want to get finance? We get your finance.
When it comes to social event stuff, though, are you doing anything beyond, just like obviously you're trying to build some artists in the area. You're trying to get some people because there is a recording studio in there now.
Yes.
What kind of stuff are you doing to bring people together as far as just like getting together, have a good time, letting them be social?
We had the after hour spot.
Yeah, well, we can't tell you too much about the music and where it's going to go moving forward.
Yeah, sure.
But we can say that the music is going to be the main core piece to what we do, to answer your first question, because all of us in that space that are partners, we're all musicians. We're artists. We're producers. We love music, and we make space for ourselves so that we can have free time to actually create our art.
Right.
So that's really important. And we also develop other talent, right? We can't mentor everyone right now. But what we can do is pull in young artists because we can relate to that and we can teach them and help them stay on the straight path, and build up their confidence and teach them how to actually record properly and how to build their brand, different things. So in the near future, we have plans on really developing these artists and maybe helping put some artists on the road too.
Amazing.
But yeah, we're going to start doing some events. We have, right now we have some events going on Fridays and Saturdays. Awesome. And we're going to build out into some more events. We just want to utilize the space, man. We have space. We need to now increase more time in the space.
Right.
So really my goal, which I've shared with my partners a little bit, is I want to create a live music venue because that's what's not really here. A live music venue.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
true. It's true.
So dedicated to that is what I think Sarasota deserves, and that's kind of some of the things that we're playing around with right now. We've just been testing out the space. We've been trying to see what works, but now we have an understanding, and we have feedback because people have come through the space, including you, giving us feedback, So now we're more sure of where we want to go with this, and we know that Sarasota really wants it. Right. We could guess all day, but now we absolutely know that this is in high demand, what we're doing, And just look at us. I just want to make sure that everybody understands, like, if you look at these three individuals, there's so many things we could be doing. There's, we're bright, you can tell, but we could be doing so much. And what we're trying, and I'm not saying that to boast or build some self-pride, but it's about, look at us. We're trying to be an example. Look at us and be inspired, because you can do the same. And I want to make sure that's put out there.
That's exactly right.
It ain't about bragging, but man, we gladiators. We gonna win.
Yeah.
And we're together. You see this? We're not just saying we need to come together. Community is missing the unity. Like, we are uniting, and we're trying to spark that same flame in others. We're actually doing it, and strength is in numbers. Look at us. We from all over the place. We're all doing different things, but we found time and space to be like, we're gonna work together. All of us are extremely busy, whether it's arts and music, whether it's politics, whether it's business. Yeah. This brother right here is actually running businesses. We're artists. He's a politician. We got platforms. We talk to people. This man is not often seen. He's just handling business and creating jobs. Do you understand? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is what I'm trying to get across to people. Like, I digress.
Again, you can easily see, those of you watching at home, or if you're listening now, that these people are all very strong-minded, strong-willed individuals. And like I said, if you could be in this room right now, the air is palpable. It's just like there's just so much happening right here at this table right now. It's fantastic. Ed, do you have anything else coming up right now? So these guys have a whole operation going on. Do you have anything that you're working on right now that you'd like to put out there? Something that's coming up that we should be keeping an eye on?
Well, right now, actually, I just want everyone to know that Sarasota City is actually having elections. March 14th, it's really important. Unfortunately, the turnout is often low because it's in the springtime. It's not, it doesn't coincide with any kind of national elections, and a lot of times we kind of tune out after the presidential elections. But there will be 2 open city commission seats, and I believe the election is March 14th. And so I want everyone who lives in the city of Sarasota, the space is located in the city of Sarasota. We talk about downtown, Newtown, the Rosemary District, Sapphire Shores, pretty much 41 all the way up to kind of the Hillview area. Right. That's all a part of the city of Sarasota. There's 50,000 residents. If you live in the city of Sarasota, take your butt to the polls on March 14th and go and cast your ballot. If you don't, do not complain.
Right.
Definitely.
And a lot of these issues you were talking about, whether it's, noise ordinances, a lot of these things are dealt with on the city level. Yep. How we interact with Uber, ride-sharing companies. We talk about moving Sarasota forward and bringing that positive new direction type of energy. It all starts at the local level.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there anybody we should be keeping an eye on? You don't have to push one political view or another, but is there anybody that you seem to think has got views that seem to be going in a progressive direction?
That's for another show.
Okay. Oh, I love that.
That's for another show.
Join us next week.
To second that, Nick, you're great. You dig in, you get to the right questions, you pull it out of us, but We're great too. And over here, we got to make sure we keep the focus off of us for right now, because you know what? We're going to come back in here, bro.
Yep.
Whether it's our individual time or just to celebrate for something. I'm going to tell you what, we turn up, we talk, we have fun, we smile, share music, all that great stuff. We just want to make sure people understand that. We want to give back on December 21st.
Yes, sir.
At 6 p.m., we will have turkeys and hams in hand, and we would have already went out and talked and shared this message with people, and we want people to come gather and come pick these up and have a great holiday season.
Yes.
You know, and stress free and not worry, because there's a lot of single mothers, there's a lot of single fathers, and they don't get a lot of light. There's a lot of people that are suffering. There's a lot of people that just need help, like something went wrong last minute and just need a little aid, man.
Yeah.
We want to help and we want to give back.
Absolutely.
If you can appreciate that, come through.
Absolutely. So that leads me right into my next question, which is perfect. What is the best way for people to reach out to you? We already got the address of the spot, but if people want to reach out to you as far as helping you out or any of that other stuff, what's the best way for people to reach you all?
Snapchat, Life of Shahid, LIFEOFSHAHID.
Okay.
Snapchat.
Awesome.
Me, 941rivers.com. Everything's on that Snapchat, Twitter, email, however you want to get in contact with me.
Awesome. What about you, Ed?
Twitter, EJ3 for Florida. Instagram, EJ3 for Florida.
Awesome. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This event is going down next Wednesday, the 21st. If you or somebody you know is in need, give these guys a holler or just show up. They're going to hand out turkeys and hams till there's no more turkeys and hams.
And we're going to entertain you.
And it's going to be some entertainment. You can't hate that. It's going to be a great day. We will all be there. 6 p.m., 1945 17th Street, Sarasota. Check these guys out. The Holiday Ham and Turkey Giveaway, sponsored by 24th to Broadway, the Evolve Agency, and New Direction, which is these three gentlemen sitting here before you. Does anybody else have anything to say before we wrap this up today? No, you feeling good? Guys, we appreciate you coming out. Super excited about this project. Super excited. I think this is awesome. If you're in Sarasota and you're not immediately just moved to try to do something different, or you think it's time to really start making things happen in this community, we're just going to bring them back here and keep pushing, because I think it's time to get everybody together and do this stuff. Guys, thank you again. I appreciate it. Folks, thanks for joining us on Facebook Live. We appreciate that as well. Hopefully, we got a couple people watching. It looks like people are in and out. There wasn't a lot to talk about today, so there weren't a lot of comments, but feel free to drop comments anytime you join us here live. As for me, make sure you follow me on Facebook at facebook.com/Ghost Riot Radio, where if you're watching on anybody else's live, you can actually follow this stream live on this show and any other show that I record, which happens every Sunday. If you're on Twitter or Instagram, you can follow me at Ghost Riot Media, which is my umbrella for this whole project. This show is now going to end up on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Stitcher as a podcast, and sometime by late tonight, I'm hoping to have this video out on YouTube, so go hit the subscribe button on YouTube at Ghost Riot Radio. Once I get to 100 subscribers, I'll be able to actually create my own URL. Until then, you just have to search Ghost Riot Radio. You won't be able to miss it because my pretty face is on most of those thumbnails. Folks, thanks again to these gentlemen for joining me. As always, I'm Nick Noble. Thank you for joining us this special holiday episode of Ghost Riot Radio. Spread some love this year. Help someone in need. Don't forget to make your presence known, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.